Now that we have finalized our formula, we need to drag it towards right, down, and then bottom. So in order to adjust this correctly, you need to understand the logic of fixed and relative references. That means absolute and relative references. That is the key to apply any formula in Excel. Okay, now this formula means we are connected to a lot of cells, and as we drag towards right, each and every cell reference connected will start moving. So we need to decide right now what should be fixed at its point, what should be absolute, what should be relative, what contents should move and when, and what contents should not move and when. So if I drag this formula from 3 months analysis to 4 months analysis, what do you think? It should still compare the months, or now it should compare the references? Obviously, it should compare the years and months. So that means these cells, as we drag the formula towards right, this cell should not move towards right. That means it should not change the columns. So the columns will be fixed. I will put a $sign here, and since this is purple, we will just find purple. Oh, it's E. So we will put the $sign here as well. And as we move this, that formula in all these transactions, because we have to make transactional analysis, this should move down to calculate what is the scenario in the other transaction, what is the scenario in the other transaction. So the rows should move. So I need to check. Yes, the rows are free. The rows are free means relative. We are good to go with this. And outstanding amount, it is the similar logic here, that the columns should be fixed, means it should not change its place from here to here or here, and the row should move because we have to show the outstanding value of every transaction. Now that we have resolved issue in the rows, we need to see what to do when we drag towards right with the columns. So as we move in the 4 months, it should compare these values with this reference. That means whenever I move to 4 months, it should compare that whether it's January is matching with this January and 2013 is matching with this 2013. If both matches, then show up the value. So that means whenever I drag towards right, the columns should move. But as I drag down this same formula, the rows should not change its place. Otherwise, it will be, down like this. So it should not change. So what I will do is I will open this formula, and since this is red, the columns should change, but the rows would be static. So I will put a $sign with the row. Put a $sign. And then same is the case here. $sign. And outstanding, I have not changed the outstanding. The column should not change here, and the column should not change, and the row should change. So that means dollar here. And here this cell, and here this cell. I think I've changed the formula, but you know, it's unapplied again. So anyways, we have our formula applied. When we hit enter, we will see the formula right there, and if I drag it towards left, I have the formula. If I drag towards right, I have the formula. Older is something else, so don't just consider that. And then as we have applied the formula in the whole row, as I drag down, it will be applied in the row beneath it. So I will drag in all the rows all together, drag, drag, drag until this point. And you have the analysis ready for you. One thing you need to check that now just consider randomly that is it showing the exact values. Like I have 699, but it's not showing anywhere because it is 2012, so it should show in older. That's correct. It is not. It should not show in this analysis. So now is the older calculation. Since if we consider December, any date within December, 1st December to 31st December 2012 should show up here. Any date even one day before December should show up here. That means any date that is below 1st of December 2012 should show up here. So the formula will be, as we will be directly considering dates in the formula, let me tell you that the date we can see is in the date format right now. But if I change the format to general, you can notice that it has a number behind this. So that's date value. So if we want to give a reference to dates, we can write if this date is less than inverted commas 1st of December 2012. That means any date behind 1st of December. So it will not show in this, but even 30th November should show up in older. But as we have seen that if we convert this to general, it has a different date value. So this comparison will not be right until and unless you convert this date in the value also. You can put a formula, date value, and then you have to write the date text just like this, close the brackets, and then if this matches with this or is less than this, then show the outstanding value, else show nil. As I hit enter, try to correct it, okay, and we can have the analysis. If we see it randomly, notice that this cell, it's showing the total amount. If we double click on this and we just try to check this, we have the same problem here. This date is considered as 0. The blank cells as considered as zeros, and since it puts a date that is way older than our current years, so it will definitely show up in older because it's 1900, 19th century. So that means I need to insert a formula at the top of the cell, and if I write if in the starting is blank. What is blank? If this cell is blank. Bracket close, since we have referred to the blank cell. If this is blank, then end the formula. We don't want to calculate anything. Show nil. That's it. But if it is not blank, then calculate this and hit enter. Close the bracket. Try to correct it. Yes. Double click and send it down, and then we have removed all this. If I notice now, 699 is showing here. If I check the dates, you have 1st of July 2012. So that means it should show up in older. So that's how you can make the analysis. One final test of doing this is if we go to the end, this grand total should match with all the transactions total. That means if these two totals are not matching, some problem is there. That means we are not considering some of our transactions in this aging. It should not be less or it should not be more, exactly the same. So if I go on the top, select the whole values, and I can see the sum 905,487.44, 905,487.44. So our analysis should obviously match with this, and it is matching up exactly. So I know this was a complex assignment, but there are scenarios where you need to do something like this. Thanks a lot.